morning and welcome to GBS Sports Morning Extra. I'm your host, John Gige. Remember, you can keep it interacting with us through all our social media platforms, that is GBS TV Kenya. And also our SMS line number is 21144. First of all, let's start off with a rather a sad note here in Kenya, whereby Harambee Stars yesterday managed a draw against Togo, failing to pick up their first 3 points in the group. So far so good. They are currently seated on the second position and Comoros head in the group. But today we are going to switch matters and discuss about rugby. And today in studio we are joined by one James Kennedy. Thank you very much for joining us today on the set. And he is the chair of the Rugby United New York.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, so first of all, let's start. How did the Rugby United New York come to be?
Well, that's a very long story. How much time do we have? I guess there's a new league in the US called Major League Rugby, a professional men's rugby league.
Yes.
I was offered the opportunity to join it in 2018,
Yes.
and I looked at the growth of rugby in the US, and more importantly, the values of rugby and the messaging around the sport.
Yes.
As a father of two young daughters, I think positive messaging is needed in these times.
Yes.
And I saw rugby as an opportunity. But you know, I'm a rugby player. I still play badly, but I still play. So I do love the sport. So growing the sport and growing the values and the messaging around that sport, I thought would be a great opportunity.
Okay, so you visit here in Kenya. You are doing some of these projects. We've seen you've done in Kibera. We've seen you in KCA doing some of these trainings. So briefly, you can explain to our viewer maybe what are these projects that you're doing?
Sure. I'm working with the Olympia Foundation with Anne Wafulu, who was just on.
Yes.
And a very inspiring person and that does extraordinary work.
Yes.
And also with Shamas Rugby Foundation, which is it's a rugby organisation that offers training to kids, primary and high school kids, mostly boys and girls. But the most impressive thing about them is it's their life skills. Yes, there's rugby, but they really focus on the life skills. So working with them has been amazing too. And you know, people say, "Oh, you're coming from the US to teach." No, I'm coming to Kenya to learn. From Anne and from Shamas, I'm learning so much, and from everybody I've met. You know, and I came here with the UN FPA, as did Anne. And that's very important, I know, for both of us. You know, dealing with gender-based violence and access to medication, mental health treatment, and family planning in East Africa, in fact, all over the world for women is very, very important to me.
Okay, so how can you say so far so good? Dealing with these kids, how has it been?
Ooh, it's been extraordinary. You know, when I was in Madeira at the last day of their 1 week camp where the kids stay over, and I met a girl called Precious who's 13.
Yes.
I might have that wrong. She may be 12. It's been a long week. Yes. But she just got 407 out of 500 in her primary exam, which puts her in the top 1% intellectually in her group in Kenya. Shamas, given her the confidence and given her the life skills, offered her the opportunity, and now she's going to get a full scholarship, you know, in high school, which we know is a big deal in Kenya because the education is free, but it's also not free. So
it's all about impacting them with something that they can do, and also at the same time telling them that education is still important to them.
Education and character. And it's exactly what Anne is doing as well. Anne is offering a hand up, not a handout, you know, empowering people, you know, with disabilities, which is extraordinary as well. Okay,
I know you've not been in the country for a very long time, but how can you compare the rugby sport here in Kenya and maybe there in States?
The rugby's very good, women's and men's. It's different, you know. I think physically in America there's a lot of gym work that goes into it, so I think the bodies are bigger.
Yes.
You know, the skill level is extraordinary. You know, and the speed of Kenyan players is probably some of the best in the world. But physically, because of lack of access, I think to gyms and, you know, and to be honest with you, nutrition. There's probably some catch up to be done.
Yeah. but we're still on the right note.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I'd like to see a professional team here in Kenya someday.
Okay, so are there some of the exchange programs that we are going to see for these kids? Maybe getting an opportunity, maybe to come there in the States and do some of this sport in particular, the rugby sport.
Yeah, that's something we're going to work on.
Yes.
A lot when I get back to the States.
Yes.
But with the States and with my connections in Ireland and being Irish, I mean that's natural. As I said, the kids here are not just great rugby players; they're great people. Yes. So they will add to whatever environment, whatever high school or college they would end up in. I know, and we've already agreed to or planned to exchange coaches.
Yes.
We'll be taking two, possibly more coaches to the US next year, early next year, and we'll be sending our coaches here in the summer as well. So it's the start of a great relationship.
Yeah. So it's not it's not an end of this this activity. We are going to see more of this.
No, it's only the beginning.
Yeah.
It's definitely only the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to see a lot of me and a lot of my team, Rugby United New York, in East Africa.
Yes.
And West Africa in the future, and you're going to see a lot of Anne back in Africa, I think, as well. So, so it's the beginning of going to be very exciting relationships. Yeah, the relationship with East Africa.
Yeah, and I think it's going to also motivate these kids because you're trying to impact them with something good, and they will not lose hope because maybe next time you're here, so they'll be seeing it's a continued thing.
Yeah. I think in East Africa, what I've learned over the last week is that there's a lot of NGOs that come in and to tick a box and say, oh, we've helped. They come in and they leave. They mostly don't help. Yeah. Whereas, like, I say it again with Anne, she works really hard at, yes, she gives wheelchairs, but she also works really hard on and making places accessible with wheelchairs. You know, we were in Kadira and she brilliantly gave out 14 wheelchairs. And but to get into the community centre, we had to carry people because the bottom of the ramp wasn't finished. Yeah. You know, there's a good example. So Anne and me, Anne and I will work really hard on that, and empowerment as well. You know, yeah. So, and once again, as I said at the start, it's what I'm learning and what my coaches will learn and what everybody else will learn here. You know, which we'll take home with us and use in our own communities.
So far so good. How has the lifestyle here in Kenya been? The culture, maybe in terms of food, how people relate with each other. So has it been easy for you, or you found out some?
No, it's been really easy. Big fan of Tusker, although I'm told it's not the best. Yeah, there's better. Is it white cap? The food's been great. The people, you know, welcoming. How do you welcome?
You say karibu.
Karibu, yes, yes. The people have been very welcoming. Yeah, so I can't wait to come back, and I can't wait to tell people about it.
Okay, I was actually getting to that to ask you if you've learned some of the Swahili words here around.
Some people could say I barely speak English, so my aptitude for languages is very poor. But and Eduardo from Shamas have been working hard on me to little effect. But if I keep coming back, maybe it'll stick. You'll stick.
You'll learn little by little. It's never hard. It's easy. It's the easiest language that you can learn.
That's what I've been told. Yeah, because it's a trade language, right? So it was designed to be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be learning about the origins of the language. So you know, and yeah.
So it's thank you very much for joining us, and we've seen that the cooperation between that is Shams and Rona, we've seen it working very well, and doing some of these charitable activities. So what can you say to other organizations who want to venture in an activity that you guys are doing in Rona?
I think, you know, a lot of takeaways from this week, but it's great to give, but it's all about empowerment. Offering, I'm taking from Derek Lipscomb here, but offering opportunities to succeed, not just giving out, because that can create a bad culture. And I think that's something that I'll think, you know, it's been such a busy week between the UNFPA and the summit. In Madeira, Kadira, I'm learning the places, working with Anne from you know, wheelchair basketball to rugby to everything else. I have a lot of processing to do when I get back to New York. A lot of it I'll do on the flight, and then it's. I mean, me and Anne have a lot of planning. Me and Shamas have a lot of planning, and it could easily be together because the messaging is the same. You know, I think I received some amazing artwork when I was in Kadira. So one of the things I want to do later after Christmas is have an art exhibition in New York and raise money through that, because once again, you're empowering people to create art.
Yes.
You know, the disabled and everybody, and then share that art. So, you know, that's just one example. There's a lot to process and a lot to do.
Okay, so maybe before we wind up the show, maybe you can tell us your last words, your parting shot.
My parting shot is thank you. Thank you to the people of Nairobi and Kenya in general, because it's been see, I told you I'm bad with the English. It's been an honor. It's been very emotional all the time. So thank you for the welcoming, and thank you for the hospitality, and thank you for teaching me how to be a better person, hopefully. And I look forward to continuing the relationship. And you know, through sports, you know. So. And
we hope to see you more and more.
Yeah. Oh, you'll be sick of me.
Okay, so you're welcome here in Kenya. We don't resist guests. We welcome them instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us today. So viewer, that has been James Kennedy. That is a Rugby United New York head. That is the chair. So on behalf of those that have made this program a success, it's a wrap from the Sports Desk.